Yeah, so where their addresses are, and then the objective, the whole purpose of the contract. So that's very, very important to outline in clear details the the details of the parties, the addresses of the parties, where they reside, and the whole purpose of entering into the contract. Say, for instance, in an IT contract, if the objective of the parties is to provide certain services by one party to another party, that has to be clearly articulated in clear language as party X providing so and so services, maybe implementation, maintenance services to party Y under so and so circumstances, under so and so consideration. So that has to be clearly framed out, articulated in the draft contract at the beginning itself. So unless and until the objective purpose is clear, it's very difficult to understand why the parties are entering into the contract. And this also needs to be related to your knowledge of contract law, which you would have got in your initial classes in your contract law classes by your teachers who would have taught you that to form a contract, the basic ingredients of a contract are the offer, acceptance, and consideration by the parties. So, where do you get that knowledge, or where do you get that understanding in a draft contract? That obviously comes through in the initial part of the contract document, where you have the clear outline of the policies, the reasons, the objective, and the purpose as to why the parties are entering into this contract. So once you have the clear framework around that, you move into the next part of the contract document, which would be more related to defining some of the critical elements in the contract. So if it is a very technical contract, or if it is a very technology oriented contract, you would obviously need to focus on certain key definitions. It's like some of the terms which may not be easily understandable by a layman. For instance, how would one define a term like, uh, say, a service level matrix? And now, a service level matrix, if you ask a normal person, he would find it very difficult to really relate to, or even understand what is a service level matrix comprises of. So there, I think we'll have to be very careful in drafting what a service level matrix is. So therein you would find many other key aspects or elements of a technology contract which needs to be clearly defined. Say, say for instance, some parameters or some benchmarking requirements, or for instance, certain certain guidelines or certain policy related definitions. So those have to be clearly articulated in the definition sections. So once you have taken care of the definitions, you then move into the other aspects of the draft contract, which are also equally important. So one thing that you may have been taught in your law classes is related to the covenants, and related to the agreements between the parties related to the entire engagement. And therein, you would have to probably outline more in detail related to what is going to be delivered as part of the contract. And now, if it is a license arrangement, say for instance, so it would be related to, say, a one party X providing a license to another party Y. So that is basically a grant of a license, but is that also coming through with certain restrictions around the license? So that also needs to be clearly captured in the draft contract with all its elements, especially what are the essentials related to the transfer of, say, a one product to another product, and what really are the restrictions around that product. So it's vital that every aspect of that transfer is rightly captured in the contract document and nothing is missed out, because that would outline what is the whole objective and what is the real uh, purpose uh, of the transfer, and what exactly is getting transferred in the whole process. Mm, After that, I think